Hello everybody, I'm Jerry Fort, the beer review guy, and it's a cold day here in Oklahoma today. It's rainy and nasty outside. It's been doing it all day, so I thought I'd warm up with the beer tonight. I've had this one for maybe about 3 or 4 weeks now. Got it from my local liquor store, and it was one that they got me, or they suggested I get, that it would be a good one to do a review on. So, and it looks good. I've seen it in Master Greg's refrigerator before in a bigger bottle than this, but I have not yet seen the review he did on it. But it's called La Fin du Monde Unibrow. I don't know if Unibrow is part of the where it come from, or if it's part of the name of the beer. It says triple golden ale on lees. 9% alcohol / by volume. Bottle re-fermented, ale brewed with spices. The date on it, it says best before 12/4 of 2018. So I'm going to take a guess and say that you could probably cellar this beer. It being a where'd it go? 9% alcohol, and then plus that date being so far ahead like that. That's just a guess. So re-fermented on yeast base. That's all it says on the bottle. It's from, the bottle says it's from Canada. From the La Fin du Monde site, it says it's Quebec, Canada. Excuse me. It's voted as a world-class beer. And let's see, Beer Advocate says you can get this beer year-round. They gave it a score of 96 world-class and a 100 in world-class. It's a triple style beer, triple style ale. And Wikipedia says the name La Fin du Monde means it's French for the end of the world. And Rate Beer gave it a 99 overall and a 99 style. So they think a lot of this beer. Let's see, the La Fin du Monde site says you'll smell a floral bouquet, aromas, and honey, spice, coriander, malt, and alcohol. And they also say you'll taste a mildly yeasty with a complex palette of malt, fruit, and spice notes, followed by a smooth, dry finish. Alright. I'll tell you a little bit more after we get her open. I notice it has some of the ingredients in the bottom there, so I got to make sure that I get it all out of there so we can taste everything. Wow. I don't know why, I just thought it was going to be darker than that. It's got a golden coloring. Oh yeah. Boy, that looks good. Alright. Got about a finger width of head there. It's very hazy. Very foggy in there. Very malty foam. Slightly carbonated, but I can't see the bubbles because it's so hazy inside there. It's a little cold. I just brought it out of the refrigerator. So, let's see. Okay, what we can smell. Floral bouquet. It does have a floral aroma to it. Honey. Maybe a little bit. The floral is really dominating right now. A little fruity. Spice notes. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Coriander. I'm not sure about that. Malty, yes. Slightly alcohol smell. Alright, now let's see what the taste part. Oh man, that is really good. It's quite a change up from the dark stouts I've been doing here lately. Trying to get my palate around those. Mildly yeasty. Malty, definitely. Got a little fruity in there. Spicy notes. Smooth, definitely very smooth. This is a good beer. I could drink 2 or 3 of these. Dry finish, yeah, I can. Slightly alcohol. For 9%, I don't taste it that much in there. It's really surprising. Yeah, that's very good. That's an easy drinking beer right there. The bitterness is just so light in there. It's almost really not there. But yeah, the ingredients are just so strong and flavorful. That's a very enjoyable beer right there. Bubbles are champagne-like, it says. Oh man, I can't even see any bubbles in there. Unless we're talking about the head bubbles. Because, I don't know. Food pairings. Salty blue cheese or a wide variety of dishes made with mussels, salmon, scallops, game, or sausage. So mostly mostly fish and type stuff. Wikipedia also says the name is claimed to derive from the European explorers' belief that they had reached the end of the world when they discovered America. That's interesting. Alright. Now that the head is dissipated, the little bubbles on top are, yeah, there's very tiny bubbles. That's very good. Alright. Before I drink it all, we'll let it warm up just a little bit. I found out a little information. If you watch beer reviews, you'll hear every once in a great while one of the reviewers say that the beer tastes funny or that they think it might be infected or something like that. I found a little bit of information on that. It's from the Amarillo Brewing Supply. How do I know if my beer is infected? I'm not going to read the whole thing because some of it's kind of so scientific that it's kind of hard to understand. But Excuse me. One of the most common questions we get at the shop is, how do I know if my beer is infected? Large, vicious, clear bubbles or large bubbles under a gray, baby powder-like film are a sure sign you may have an undesired bacteria or yeast in your beer. Healthy beer should have no gray skin or film on top, and generally only small compact bubbles or small rafts of small bubbles with some protein or hop matter on the surface. Infected bottles may become overcarbonated or even explode. Infected beer may have a number of odd flavors such as tin, metallic, barnyard, green apples, sour cherries, wet leather, pineapple, and horse sweat. Yeah, horse sweat. I wonder how many people know what horse sweat tastes like. There are many other flavors that may occur, as this is not an all-inclusive list. Most brewers view wild yeast such as Brettanomyces, I don't know if I pronounced that right, or any bacteria growth in their beer to be negative and unwanted. There are, however, many beers which are prized for their flavor profile, which is driven by fermentation by organisms other than Saccharomyces yeast. Proper sanitation is the only way to prevent an unwanted infection by competing organisms. Anything that touches your unfermented wort after the boil may carry unwanted life unless properly sanitized. Sanitation is the most important aspect of quality craft brewing. Your unfermented wort after the boil may carry unwanted life unless properly sanitized. Sanitation is the most important aspect of quality craft brewing. I actually didn't mean to read this part because this part here was a little hard to understand. But let's see. The Beer Advocate Discussion Board, they were saying there are different types of infections in a beer, and a beer can get infected quite a few different ways. When people say infection on here, they almost always are referring to an infection of wild yeast. Wild yeast can infect beers through the air as it naturally occurs. It can be present because of beers the brewery may make with wild yeast, and it can be from a barrel previously infected, just to name a few. Barrel-aged beers, particularly previous use, and blended barrel-aged beers are more prone to infection due to the exposure of the potentially dangerous barrels, as are beers brewed at breweries that have beer with wild yeast. Generally, a beer will get a tart and/or sour taste when infected, and will ferment further than intended by the brewer, so can be lighter bodied than intended and overcarbonated. It can also get a funky smell and taste similar to a musty basement, and a lot of other unintended flavors. So I don't know how many of y'all have, had a basement that you go and lick so that you'll know what a musty basement will taste like. That was pretty strange. Anyway, let's see what this is tasting like. It hasn't been sitting here too long, but that is a very good beer. Sorry, I didn't put this in your site. I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this beer. A lot of the reviewers have probably done this beer, but that is a picture of it right there. There's some information on the back. I read a lot of it. But yeah, I may grab another one of these sometime. That's how much I like it. So I did this one. This was a big beer for me, and I enjoyed it a lot. Got a little beer school in. Done another review, and we'll end it with that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.